quickly you disappear. So they know I run like a business somewhere, but people don't know I'm selling spare parts. It was mind-blowing.
In 3, 2, 1.
On CTA, on this platform where you're watching this video, we have a couple of shows. We've got something called The Playhouse, which is what you're watching right now. We've got something called Class in Session. People come for Class in Session after they have come to the Playhouse. And what it is, Class in Session is 2 hours where you get to break down a particular conversation. We've got the Diaspora series, and we've got something new coming called Double S. I'll tell you about that when it's time. Our guest is giving me so many gems on gems. I'm trying to change the Playhouse into a Class in Session. A Class in Session on entrepreneurship. My God, she's giving us gems. Yani Mercy, you have dropped some other gems that are so good. I'm going to be intentional not to turn this into a Class in Session on entrepreneurship. I'm going to ask a few more questions about that.
Okay. What
the Playhouse is, it's more like your life story, the life path. And of course, we dwell some places like we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you just a couple of questions.
Okay.
But I had to say that so that the audience doesn't get pissed off with me when we move on.
Yeah.
And they understand.
Yes.
That you may be coming back for a Class in Session. Anyway, we let the story flow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all you've been sharing.
Thank
I have
you.
a couple of questions.
Yes.
To do with this time where you are in full entrepreneurship, getting introduced to it, going to Mombasa, meeting guys, setting up a place there. I want to ask some of the hard questions.
Yeah.
Number one, credit.
Yeah.
When you offer people credit, there's times they don't pay you back.
True.
How are you dealing with that?
I think it will be...
Or did that even happen to you?
It did. It did, and it will be not right for someone to think in a perfect world. So you need to build scenarios for your business, yeah? So with time I've learned best case and worst case scenario. Yes, there were times that people did not pay me. Let me give you an example. This gentleman I was talking about who gave me space, I will see he's selling the things that I'd sold to him, but he wasn't paying me because for one reason or the other. So we segued our relationship from not just client and supplier to now tenant and landlord. Because I was quickly able to see he has an opportunity to lease for me space. He has an opportunity to help me to control my day-to-day operations in my absence while I'm in Nairobi, and to manage that transition of stock. So if a client asks for something and I'm in class, they can either call the girl called Nyambura, who was under his tutelage, and Nyambura can deliver to them. So I was also beginning to change. But then there are some who also didn't pay.
Hold on, even before we get the ones who didn't pay. So this lack of paying created an opportunity for expansion.
It created an opportunity for expansion.
That's how you moved now your base and got your base in...
I didn't move, I got a second base.
Sorry.
Yes.
That's how you got a second base in Mombasa.
Correct.
From this opportunity, this negativity of this guy not paying.
Yes.
Wow.
Delayed. Not paying, but more delayed. So we used the opportunity to have another relationship where I will pay him rent, but then I would offset the rent against the supplies. Yeah.
Okay, now, and then you said there's some people who then didn't pay.
There are some who didn't pay. But smaller amounts. But then I was also very deliberate to know, maybe I've supplied something to someone in Ukunda. It's going to cost me much more. My biggest challenge was time. Because I mean, in such a crunch time, I can't be in Mombasa for a whole week during the academic program time, when my academic programs are running.
Yes.
So I had to be deliberate to know, do I cut my losses? Maybe you owe me 3,500. Coming all the way, I just learned. So there are some that didn't, but they were very, very minimal. But I ended up having some solid clients. One of them is a gentleman called Hakim, Kimani, Serik. There were some Arabs, big time, like they had massive shops. They didn't need to buy from me. These guys were importing from Dubai.
What?
But then they saw a gap. they saw a gap in, okay, we need these things, but by the time we're in port, maybe this girl can be supplying to us. So that helped in really expanding. And the Mombasa outlet became our biggest revenue generator.
What are we talking about? What kind of revenues on a
90% of our business was coming from Mombasa.
So did you what's that looking monthly? Turnover.
So monthly, now remember we started 22, 50, 100, then I started doing 150. It got to a place where I was selling 300K a week.
What?
In Mombasa. But then, as I'm also growing, remember I mentioned the facilities that I got from the Women's Fund during the late President Kibaki's time and the Youth Fund.
So what, do you approach them? Don't skip over that.
I won't skip. Remember the bit I spoke about my mom being very intentional about banking and channeling funds regardless. If we sold 1,200, we'll bank 1,200. We would bank everything every single day, regardless, from our Nairobi shop. Because that was the base, yeah? So I started banking. By this time, of course, the bank can also see potential, yeah? Numbers don't lie. So they're beginning to approach, do you need a credit facility? I'm like, yeah, I do need a credit facility. I used to bank at Cooperative Bank Nasiko. This is the one in some very not nice place along Landis Road. It's very chaotic. But I'm telling you, by the time I was banking there, I would go. I had such a good relationship with the guys at the bank. I had so much favor that I will go to the manager's office directly. And tellers will come and make me sign and I'll have tea. So I'm having a relationship with them, yeah? Now they're telling me, by the way, we're recipients of the Youth Fund. And we know bankers at Family Bank that are recipients of COP was the Women's Fund. Family Bank was the Youth Fund. You're such a perfect candidate. First, they can't understand. I'm not like a typical Juakali person. I don't mean it wrongly, but there's a finesse to the business, etc. So they're trying to place this girl. They can't understand. So fast forward, I get the loan. I get $1 million and I get 600K from both. So I have 1.6 million.
How much? This is when you're 20?
This is when I was 20. This happened in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah. It happened in 2006.
Yeah. And we'll rewind, but it's okay for now.
Yeah.
So how much, what's the interest on that?
I think it was 12%.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but it was money that we could quickly flip.
Okay.
Yeah. At this time, there's a gentleman on Kirinyaga Road called Khan, Mr. Khan. He's Brian's dad. I actually don't know whether his name is Khan, but his shop is called Khan. So he can see me there, and he realized I don't know how he knew. No, I know how he knew. So I get the loan. Before I get the loan, my mom starts indicting me about importation. She's like, the way your business is growing, you have done very well. You should think of importing for yourself. So I'm like, importing, what does that mean?
Ooh, growing on the supply side.
Yes, on the supply side. She said, you need to go to Dubai or China to get some stock. So I asked people, some people had mixed feelings around the block. Now, I have friends on Kirinyaga Road who some import, some don't import. So Mr. Khan was one of the businessmen who used to import for a very long time from Dubai. So I just go to him and I tell him, I'm thinking of this. He said, go and don't look back.
What?
He said, go.
Had you flown out before this time?
No. But my brother, now remember my elder brother?
Yes.
He'd moved to Dubai.
Okay.
For work.
Yeah.
He moved in 2004.
We're coming to this.
Yes.
Forgive my interjections, but my interjections sometimes are very important.
Yeah.
Actually, not sometimes, all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to politically correctly ask this question, but I will ask it anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing this job.
Expound.
You just mentioned your mom was in oil.
Yeah.
You mentioned somebody, by the time your mom is in oil, what I mean is financially, you guys were all right.
Yeah. It's true. I didn't need to do it for money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 2, this is Kirinyaga route.
Okay.
You can't go there with your English. In fact, it's called Kirinyaga road for a reason.
Yes. You can't go there with your English. It's true. Yeah.
Why then did you keep doing this?
There was a level of satisfaction and fulfillment it gave me, which I can't even quantify. There was purpose. There was fulfillment. I just felt so charged. I felt more charged in Kirinyaga Road than in class in law school. Number 2, I began interacting with the other businesses there, and I'm beginning to shift their mindset. I'm beginning to tell them, start banking every day.
What?
I'm beginning to share these nuggets. I'm beginning to tell them, by the way, you can access credit. Credit comes if you follow this metric, yeah? First, bank every day. Keep your records well. Issue a receipt. Do things above board.
Wow.
And that became such a passion of mine, because later on, my roommate in campus was also an entrepreneur. I'm telling you, when you start doing things, God puts people who are aligned. Lucille Atiamuga, who is also my very, very good friend. She's a lawyer. So Lucille and her mom started selling African artifacts for a long time. And the mom will travel. The mom used to work in the UN. So they will travel across the globe selling and buying unique pieces. So Lucille started designing pieces. I was hoping to wear one of her pieces, but the outfit didn't align today. So Lucille had, she was featured on one of the local dailies. Her story of her passion for African jewelry and also being a student. But as she was completing the interview, she gave the interviewer my number and said, please talk to my roommate. She has a beautiful story. If you think my story is good, this chick is doing things.
Note to self, noted.
Yeah, I told her, you know, I'm living a double life. I am not doing a story nowhere. So the interviewer called me, said, can I just at least meet you? So we met. She came down to my shop, met, and she was, and you're in law school? I said, yes. Said, please let me run your story. I said, no, because of 2 things. 1, in school, people don't know that I do this crazy thing.
What?
2, here people don't know I'm a student. You can't burst my bubble. But she was like, no, you're seeing it the wrong way. There are young people who need your mentorship. They just need to come and hear from you and see that there is hope. Now, you asked me why I did this. I've just remembered why. In 2004, my cousin, who was very close, remember my dad, my uncle dad? His last born son went to the States. And when he went to the States, the family paid for him his air ticket, and he got 1 term's accommodation and fees. And he was sent to Kansas City. And that was it. So he had to go adjust, find a job, make enough money for his own survival, but for fees. So I started thinking about his life and wondering if someone can go to a foreign country and make money and pay their fees, surely there's something we've gotten wrong. That was it, actually. I didn't need to, but my cousin Mwangi going to the States, it kind of, I was like, do you see this kid has gone? He does not have accommodation. He doesn't have a relative there. So he needs to go start. And while he starts, he just has 1 semester. And to catch up and to start making money immediately to maintain his survival.
Yep.
Nobody's going to send him money. And by the way, there's expectation that he might need to send money home with time. So that, I was like, okay, I want a good life. I want to go for movies. My mom is not going to fund my fun life. Not because she doesn't want to, because it's not right. It is my life. I don't want to have to justify. I just want to enjoy my life. If I want to buy a cologne, if I want to buy, and I was buying too expensive things. We go to boutiques, you know, clothes worth 6K. It was a lot of money then. But then I was like, because I'm making the money, I don't want to fund it through my parents, and I don't want to get a man to do it for me. You understand?
Wow.
So for me, that light bulb moment of my cousin going to the States really redefined it. It got to a place I started paying school fees for my sister, not because I had to. So my sister also goes to Kabarak. I start chiming in. She goes to uni. I start paying her fees. But it was the fact that my cousin was already doing it in America. Whether it's flipping burgers, cleaning, how much more? Here I'm my own boss. Surely, I could do it. So that, and you see all this, the puzzle is coming together, yeah?
Yes.
My entrepreneurship background, upbringing, yeah? I've stayed with these people. I've sold things even to my teachers. Then the multi-level marketing has opened up my mind from a positive mindset. Now I'm operating from a mindset. And this mindset, I didn't even recognize it was from God. But all things are working together here for good, for His glory. And that's why I told you, even when we were talking, this is God's story. It's not Mercy's story.
Wow. And it's an incredible God story.
Yeah.
But I don't want to paint the rosiness. It also means, because you're busy running around, weekends you're not here.
Yeah.
Weekends you're in Mombasa. So social life?
There was a sacrifice that had to be made. And one of them was, I knew I will not be able to have a typical social life like my classmates.
Yeah.
So, and I was fulfilled. Because even I did have that life, because I was also a child and growing, and it was a phase in life. But the satisfaction I felt, uko selling steel. And then Kirinyaga Road humbled me, because I went there, I'm speaking my nice English and Swahili. People are speaking to me in Kikuyu. So I had to learn Kikuyu and readjust. And it is not humbling myself, but it expanded my mind. Oh, because here I'm speaking to people who are millionaires. They have homes in big places, yeah? But we're doing transactions in Kikuyu. They're like, hey, Jockey, already beshashigana. I look at them, I'm like, miatano. So I'm beginning to learn and appreciate the language, to fall in love. I'm beginning to speak Kikuyu. Kirinyaga Road, I'll go back in a heartbeat. It was an amazing school. And then also my sibling, my young sister, because of the things I'm doing, she's also now beginning to pick up. She's coming to the shop. We are spending some time. So remember, you're a product of the people you hang out, you hang around, yeah?
And you are attracting them because you're the one who's the light.
Yes.
They can see she's earning money.
Yes.
She's looking better.
Yes.
She's smelling better. Hey,
Yes.
this one is always telling me she's here and there and the other.
Yeah. So the editor comes and she requests to do my story, which I say no. But then she comes, she's like, okay, can I come with the first bunch of students? So they come, and my shop is filled with young guys. And they ask me so many questions. And I'm so humbled. They were now in the entrepreneurship program under, I think, Nation Media or something.
Yes.
So I say, fine, let's do my story. So we did on Sunday Nation. You know Sunday Nation is that segment for women, I think women in business. The minute the papers were out, my phone didn't stop ringing. Because now all this demographic of people have now understood who I am. My people in Mombasa are calling me, you are a student. You're studying law. My classmates are like, okay, we see you after class, quickly you disappear. So they know I run a business somewhere, but people don't know I'm selling spare parts. It was mind-blowing. The reactions. Guys in Kirinyaga Road, they're now calling me Wakili. Wakili! Hey! It was such a shock. I was like, man, the carrier is out of it.
Do you know what? I feel like that was your first unveiling.
It was.
I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen to you now again. Because that's how I'm feeling. I'm like, you were in Kirinyaga Road. What do you mean? That is incredible.
But the shock was, people were so shocked because the Lord had also helped me to separate these lives completely. So guys in Campo, some knew, but not to the level of detail in terms of the real hustle.
Yes.
Then there was this friend of mine, Dorcas Muturi, who had moved to Meru. She was in KU. She was running a business in Meru. So I went to Meru also to sell parts there. So
Wait, so you now started expanding beyond Mombasa?
I started trying to expand beyond Mombasa.
Why? You had saturated the Mombasa market?
No, I was looking for places that I have a touch point. You know, a local person. Because also I'm a chique. I don't want to go to a place and I'm renting in a lodging just for my own safety. So when my friend told me she's in Meru, I was like, perfecto. We go to Meru, but we didn't take the Meru. We didn't even.
You didn't see the market there.
No, we didn't proceed a lot with Meru. So Mombasa became our base.
What's your mom saying?
My mom is supporting me. She's my biggest champion. My family, my brother. So remember now I've gotten 1.6 million from the banks. Yeah. My mom is like, talk to people, go. Some are saying yes. This man tells me go. Oh,
this 1.6 million, you're looking now for you are like, I'm using this capital for that thing that you called importing.
Yes.
So now I'm not getting my supplies from these guys in Kirinyaga Road.
Yes.
I'm looking to get it.
Yes, I'm looking to import. And then I also have another competitive advantage. My brother is in Dubai.
Another touch point.
So accommodation is sorted. I can be there for a whole month buying things slowly.
Yeah. One last question before we move to Dubai. I know, guys, we're getting to Dubai, and this is not a class in session, but I'll get there. Managing people. So now it's okay. There's your clients, so people who you're servicing with the parts, but then there's also your employees.
Yeah.
And now you've gotten, I'm hearing too, there's Nyambura, there's the guy that you are with.
Yeah.
Did you face challenges?
I did.
Yes, because
I did.
Entrepreneurship is leadership, and leadership is hard.
Yeah, I did. I did face challenges, but let me start with the positive attributes.
Okay.
I really like to focus on the positive,
no problem.
even in my mindset. One, these guys were a solid support system, because if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to go to school. To open the shops in both places.
Yep.
Number two, it was an opportunity to create employment, because later on we even expanded to more people. I ended up having 5 staff.
Wow.
Yeah. And they became solid support for me for that season. 3, it allowed me to start incentivizing them, because as we're expanding, now Nyambura, I had a base and a commission. So for every sale she originated, I will pay her a commission, so that the business is not solely dependent on me, especially during the seasons where I will be studying for exams. Because that season, I now need to be focused, revising, doing group work with my colleagues and my classmates. Now I finished Strathmore, yeah? I finished and graduated with CPA. Now law, which is also a bit studious, yeah?
Why didn't you drop out?
See, the support system was there. The support system was there.
Did you put it in your mind that you have to finish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but dropping out was never even an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of people, I'm going to school to get the education so that I can start making money.
Yeah.
But I'm making money. What do I need then the school for?
Yeah. Now that you say it, it just never occurred. Like, really. Because I also... You see, this shop didn't start, it wasn't my shop. I was supporting. So I was also cognizant that whilst I'm having fun here, it's not my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay, but it just sounds like dropping out wasn't an option for you.
It wasn't.
It didn't even cross your mind.
It didn't even cross my mind.
For you, it was juggling. How do I juggle? Not
how do I juggle? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you finished the 6 courses at Strath,
yeah.
Okay, continue the story.
I finished the 6 courses. So now I'm beginning to delegate more. So she's beginning to pick orders for the seasons where I'm having exams and I can't travel a bit more. But I'm also reducing the travel time because my body is also tired. Mombasa si karibu. It's quite a distance,
bus.
yeah? And with a bus, yeah? So I'm reducing the travel time. I'm also rewarding them better on a commission basis. And we've also gotten some more people here in Nairobi and to supply.
Okay.
to sell in the shop, yeah?
Yeah.
So there was also another cousin of mine called Duahome. So there were two. Then in Mombasa, I got someone else to hustle on the other side past the ferry.
Ukunda's, Mtwapa side.
Mtwapa side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, past the ferry into
Diani
side.
yes, into Diani side. Yes,
Okay, me I was thinking the
yes.
bridge. The bridge is the Mtwapa side.
Yes.
So
yes.
the ferry is Diani.
The ferry is Diani, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that side. So there's someone who's also looking for orders on that side, collating, and they're being paid on commission. So our roots are good, yeah? But some of this, I think it began happening just before the trip to Dubai. But the trip to Dubai was revolutionary to the growth of the business. It was such a remarkable stage. So my mom really encouraged me.
Okay.
And this man, Mr. Khan, encouraged me. He said, go for two things. Even if you don't make money, you will learn something that you didn't know. So I went.
Wait, again.
Yeah.
I want to hear the challenges. So that somebody, and I'm asking the challenges of leadership of people. The reason why I ask that is because I don't want people to think this story is just rosy.
Yeah.
That growth, and as an entrepreneur, I've understood the challenges that come with leading people. So I just want to hear at that age, I've had the positives and you started that, but it's good to also paint the other side.
Correct,
yeah.
correct. Sorry, I didn't answer your question. So the other side was just issues with cash flow, stock management. You're like, no, we had this, you've sold, theft.
Okay.
That was an issue. Some of them I just overlooked because I was like, in the grand scheme of peace and everything else, I can overlook because it's not like it's a lot of money. Then there was also an issue which actually happened much later that I'll speak about that now led to the closure of that business.
Ooh.
Yeah, trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Part of the reasons why it's easy to overlook goods worth 1,500 being stolen when you are doing sales of 150 Gs.
Yeah.
But when you scale, that 1,500 also scales.
Absolutely.
In terms of theft.
Absolutely.
So business is those are some of the challenges that you had to face and overcome.
Yes. I think another challenge was I think there's a time we had a loan. We struggled a bit to pay. But my mom was able to support us there.
Okay.
I think that was the first one. And the reason was we took a very short term. It was 6 months, and it was 600,000, meaning we're paying over 100,000. And the things that we bought were not moving as fast with that initial stock.
I love it.
Yes. So that's why the Dubai conversation, I remember. That's why now Dubai started making sense, because now, as opposed to buying from people who are importing, which means our margin are less, and the cost of capital is also high. So if you're buying it, maybe you're making a 15% profit, but then you're not selling as fast to be able to pay the loan. So there she really supported towards the tail end of paying the loans. I think the fifth and the sixth installment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she came through, now you guys just had to pay her back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is the beauty of having a financer.
Yeah.
And
patient capital.
And exactly. And hash doesn't come with interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
or I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Borrowing for friends and family. Let's now go into Dubai.
Yeah. Ooh, Dubai was amazing.
In fact, let's take a chill pill. We're coming back and going into Dubai.